one of my friends, she was like, Destiny, I don't use black pepper, because it burns. I said, what?
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain 501 broadcast. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today, it's another guest episode, so of course, I'm joined by another very special Belizean guest. So, to give you some facts about this guest before we show her, she is a licensed high school teacher. She has a multidisciplinary background in politics, psychology, law, and economics. She's an aspiring attorney and ambassador. She speaks 3 languages. She was a chairwoman for the Students for Children, and she's also the future Prime Minister of Belize. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Captain 501 broadcast none other than Destiny Longsworth. Woo!
Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a bit tired, but I'm super excited to be here.
I do appreciate you being here. So, as I read in the introduction, you're an all-around individual. Have you always been this passionate about your academics growing up?
Yeah, I think that some people don't believe me when I say I've always wanted to be an attorney, but like ever since I was in preschool, like it sounds crazy, but for my career day, I actually went as a lawyer because I just knew that I wanted to be that. And I don't know if I gaslit myself into believing I wanted to be that, because my aunt is also a lawyer, and I very much look up to her. So I wanted to be just like her as well when I grew up. Um, and so since I knew that's what I wanted to do, I kind of just focused on the things that would get me there. So, for example, academics, but she'd always tell me, like, you need to be well rounded as well. So, I always took part in sports. In high school, my 4 years, always did basketball, track and field. Um, I also did student politics, so I was in the student council. I was public relations officer and then president, and then of course at John's I did the sports as well, basketball, and then student council as well. So I've also tried to keep every aspect of my life balanced. So it's kind of hard to do get a 4.0 while playing a sport, while being in a student council, while also having like to spend your time with some friends or do things so that you don't really get lost in whatever you're doing. But I think that that has built my resistance, I guess, for many things, which is why when I went on after John's, I just chose like the most demanding study possible. And I said, yeah, I could do that. I've been doing so much always, so I think I could do that.
Nice, very nice. So your family seems to be very influential in your process as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has that been?
Well, they've always kind of just been supportive of whatever I wanted to do. Um, yeah. So I've not really had some crazy dreams because I've always had one dream. Um, but like for example, when I started to say I wanted to be the prime minister, this was probably like in high school. They were like, "Yeah, if anyone could do it, that's
It would
you.
be you.
100% support you in that dream." It's never been like, "Wow, okay, let's take a breath and rethink this decision." It's always been like, "Yeah, if anyone, you can do it." So I'm super thankful for their, support in everything that I do, and I think that that's brought me a long way. Because without support, it's kind of hard to believe in yourself. It's not impossible, but I think it did make my life a bit easier.
Yeah, it must be very refreshing to have that family dynamic.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you the first in your family to go this far in your education?
Well, on my mom's side, which I'm the closest to, I'm actually the first one to receive a bachelor's degree. So that's very exciting. But I have noticed that like after me, my cousins have started to be more into education, which is what I wanted to see a long time coming, right? So I'm very proud of them, especially the women in my family. I think as Belizeans, we're a very young nation. So we're kind of still developing in the mindset of trying to transition from traditional gender roles where women should be at home, the family maker, taking care of the kids and everything, to where we're learning now to accept that, okay, women can also exist in these fields, right? So I'm super excited to see that, not just in my family, but like countrywide, because I've seen the development so far, and it's very nice to see, I think. Yeah.
So you've mentioned that you've tried to be as well-rounded as possible while also maintaining a great GPA.
Yeah.
And you've done a good job at it because you've graduated from the Corozal Community College, shout out to CCC,
Shout out.
in 2019
Yes.
with a 3.98 GPA.
Yeah,
And you were the salutatorian.
I was.
How did you find that balance in having a social life and also being able to maintain a near perfect GPA?
Yeah. How did I find that balance? That's a great question. Because I've never really sat down and thought about it. Um, when you have so much things to do, you don't really think about how am I going to do all of this. You just know I need to do this, this, and this, so I'm going to do this, this, and this, right? Uh, so I got a 3.98 because my physics teacher refused to give me a A,
It's
but
always physics.
you
It's
know, I've
always.
I've learned to overcome it. But what really was most exciting for me wasn't the salutatorian, but the student of the year, because I got student of the year at that graduation ceremony. And for me, that was how would I say, like, it was a better accomplishment. Not that I'm saying there's better and worse accomplishments, but for me, that was one that really fulfilled what I wanted my high school like journey, you know. Um, so yeah, how did I find that balance? I just kind of just did it,
You just
you
had to
know.
do it.
And I get super depressed when I don't have so much things to do, because I feel like I don't have any purpose at that moment in time, you know. Like after exams in my bachelor, we'd always get like a couple of days off, and I was like, okay, the first day is good. The second day, it's like, okay, stop, stop. I need to do something because I just get bored and I don't like being bored. So for me, I just prefer to do everything all at once.
Well, that's a great way of looking at it. You have something that you need to do, and you just gotta get it done.
Yeah, because when you don't have so much things to do, it's like now I can think. I have the space to think about this one thing that I need to do. And I'm not saying I don't procrastinate, because I do procrastinate, but I find that I procrastinate less when I have so
When
much
you have
things
more
to
to
do.
do.
Yeah.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
And I saw that just recently you went back to CCC because you were the guest speaker at their class of 2025 commencement ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that experience like?
That was quite surprising actually, because it was for CJC, so the junior college. And so when they asked me, I was like, "Are you guys sure?" Because I didn't go to CJC, so I always thought that the guest speakers had to come from that school, right? Um, but yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoyed it to be back there. I hadn't stood on that stage since 2019, when I delivered the salutatorian speech, but it was quite different. It felt different, obviously, right? I've grown so much, where the journey has taken me so far. And I basically just talked about like my time abroad and like what that was like, while trying not to romanticize that experience, but also being super realistic with them. Like, these are the things you have to go through, but it's worth it at the end. Um, so that was good. And then after like a couple weeks, I was just randomly by the seaside because there's this ice cream shop in front of the sea. And then I was there with my mom to get some ice cream, and this lady just came up to me and she asked me like, "Oh, are you like Longsworth?" And then I was like, "Yeah, it's me." She was like, "My daughter didn't know what to do after school, but after she heard your speech, she was so scared of going abroad, but she applied for colleges and stuff. And now she's going to Taiwan in September." So I'm super proud of her. I never met her. I don't know who she is, but I'm super proud of her. And I mean, it at least touched one person, so that's what I was sort of aiming
Of
for.
course, of course.
Yeah.
Being a trailblazer at such a young age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you graduated CCC in 2019,
Hmm.
and then you went on to graduate from SJC in 2021, which is
Yes.
where we met each
Yeah.
other, and that's where you got your associates in history and lecture and literature.
Yeah.
Have you always been a fan of history and lit?
Yeah. I think those are my favorite subjects in high school, but I was too young to leave the country, right? So when I graduated high school, I was like 16 years old. And I was too young to leave the country, so they told me, okay, can I just do something to take up those 2 years until you're legally allowed to leave on your own? And so I decided to just do history and lit because those were my favorite subjects, as I said. Because Johns did offer pre-law, right? Yeah, but I thought I'm gonna do law anyways, so I might as well do something that I really liked. So I just did that because it didn't really keep me back or bring me forward. It was just, yeah,
And then after SJC, you went to Amsterdam,
yeah,
and that's where you got your bachelor's.
yeah.
So, what all did you study in Amsterdam?
So I moved in 2021, right, to the University of Amsterdam, specifically PPLE College, which is like a branch of the University of Amsterdam. And it's exactly what we studied. So our majors were politics, psychology, law, and economics. I studied all of those, um, while specializing in international European Union law. So I did that in 3 years. It was an honors course. I think it was like a significant amount of credits, maybe like past 180 credits for the 3 years. And it was very much small scale intensive, right? You you're in a class for 6 weeks, then exams, then 6 weeks exams, 6 weeks exams, like a new subject, more like two or three new subjects every 6 weeks, and then exams. So that was like very fast paced, but those are like the core subjects that I took. But also, for example, like psychology, I really enjoyed. I did like cultural psychology, how the cultures of people impact the way that they think, the way that they act, and the things that they do. I did group psychology, which was like in group and out group, how groups interact. Also did like a debt class, which was about debt and how like cultures view debt. And like what was really surprising to me was that no one in that class really had experienced death of a close person, individual in their life. And that was such a culture shock to me because I was like,
You would think.
name any Belizean on that street.
Right.
Any Belizean on the
Mhm.
street you pick, they have experienced death
Mhm.
and grief in their family.
Hmm.
So that was a culture shock to me. That's crazy to think about. What do
Yeah.
you mean everyone in your family is still alive?
A blessing, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
like,
when it does happen, how are you gonna manage that?
which is why they had a dead class apparently. And then, to shift the setting a bit, then I took a happiness class, which was like a positive psychology course. And that was really nice as well. It wasn't really It was more about like human fulfillment and what the pillars you need to be fulfilled or happy. So I learned a lot from that class actually, and that class took me a long way because it was during like a specifically hard time in my life. Because Amsterdam has like a housing crisis, right? So there's not enough houses for the people in Amsterdam. So I was homeless. Okay, so I was homeless for a couple of months, and I had to commute to school every day. It was like 2.5 hours maybe. So from like Corazal to Belize almost. Um, and sometimes I had ATMs and the commute, and oh, that was crazy. And I lived in like hostels, and lots of things are legal in Amsterdam. So drugs are easily accessible, and like prostitution is legal, everything. And so you'd imagine the people that are in hostels with me. I once had this man, super, super, super high. He asked me, I was on the top bunk and he was right beside me. And he's like, I can't see straight. I'm looking at three things right now. Can you please unlock my phone? So he gave me his password and I unlocked his phone. And then at night, I look up because I feel someone's looking at me. His head is over the partition on top of my face, just breathing into me. And I'm like, are you okay, sir? Because can you like get away from me right now?
Hmm.
And he like laid back down. But I was like, that is definitely an experience. When we woke up in the morning, there was also another student. He was at the bottom of my bunk. The guy had left, the one who was watching me sleep. But he stole everything in the room. He stole the other students' laptop. He stole phones. He stole everything. And I guess because I opened his phone that night and he watched me sleep, he didn't steal any of
He
my
spared
stuff.
you.
I was like,
That's
you know what? I'll take it.
wow.
I'll take it.
And also not to forget too that this was in like the height of COVID.
Exactly. So I moved to a foreign country. I've never like taken a plane before that alone in my life. Like it would always be with my family. So now it was like intercontinental, you know what I mean? And I didn't even know what else to expect in Amsterdam because I've never heard of Amsterdam before this. Like it was a fluke that I like applied to this college, and because I got in, I applied to it because my aunt sent it to me actually, and she was like, "I think
Shout
this
out
is
to the aunt.
yeah, I think this is a very nice course," and I was like, you're right," because my plan had always been go to the UK to do my LLB, right? And she was like, "This sounds nice," and I was like, "You're right," but what caught my attention was like they only accept 200 people a year from so many applicants. So that's like a 3% acceptance rate. And I guess lower for like international students. So I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could get in. This is like Harvard level acceptance
Right
rate,
at that
right?
point.
So I was like, okay, as a joke, let me apply to this. On the last day you could apply, I applied for it. On the last day. And then they were like, okay, you move on to the second round. There was like 4 rounds to get into this college. Like interview, there was tests, there was like so many things. So I was like, okay, now I feel like, whew, like I feel excited. Let me see what's happening. Like, oh my god. So I got in and I was like, okay, so let me just choose you then, since I got in. So it seems right. I didn't even know what Amsterdam was. Much like how Belize, people in Amsterdam don't know what Belize is, I didn't know what Amsterdam was. I didn't even know what to expect. So I landed there and like everyone is speaking Dutch. I was like, what are you guys saying? And it's no offense to Dutch, right? But it's such an ugly language. It's like it's very throaty. It's like a lot of,
Okay. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I was like, guys, are you okay? You know? Yeah, so that was a surprise. And then I was alone as well because no one closely related to me was in the continent at that time. So I was like, okay, this is TMI. I don't even know if I should share this.
We'll see if we'll cut it. We'll see.
It's not that TMI, but it's like why. So there was this insurance. Like you have to buy insurance when you're there, and there's this insurance. Like if you die, they ship you back to your country for 40 euros a month. So I was debating like that must be expensive. Imagine like you're in Europe and I die, and then they have to ship me back to Belize. That sounds like a hefty
It does
price.
sound, yeah.
So I was like, for 40 euros a month, I could be shipped for free.
I mean,
It's an investment.
it is an investment, yeah.
So, that was where my mentality was at, you could see. Yeah, so it was something else. And
But
then
you
I caught
pushed
COVID
through.
as well.
You did?
I did catch COVID
While still at school.
whilst at school
Hmm.
on my finals week. I was going back to Amsterdam from the UK, and then I was like, I feel horrible. Like the back of my eyes hurt. I've never gotten that sensation where the back of my eyes hurt. And then I was like, what? And then they sent me like a COVID test and I took it and it was positive. So then I was like quarantined for a long time, which was not ideal because I got scammed out of 2,500 euros. And I couldn't even go to the police station because I had COVID. So I couldn't leave my room because I had COVID. So I couldn't even report it or anything. Yeah.
To anyone who may be wanting to go and study in Amsterdam, take notes.
Yeah, take notes.
This
Like,
is what to look out for.
don't answer no calls. If you answer no, okay, I can't believe I fell for this. Okay, but when you get there, they give you like this BSN number, which I assume is like social security number. I'm not sure. And you have to keep it. No one else should know this number except you, right? So they call me and they're like, "Oh, we're from this police station, blah 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 blah. We found documents with your BSN number and your name. They list my full name and my BSN number, and they're like, they're involved in a drug ring and car and human trafficking." And I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Give me a second. I have COVID at this point, so my brain isn't even functioning properly, right? I'm like, what? And when I turn around, they have access to my laptop. They're controlling my laptop from where they are. So they were like, to secure your funds, you need to send this to this account. And then under investigation, when we're done, we'll send it back. So I was like, what are you saying? Like, I just got home from a flight and now I have COVID. And you're telling me that I could be arrested for human trafficking.
I may have to be in
What?
the fine as well. You know, I
So I was like, okay. Then they were like, don't hang up the phone. I was like, I'm hanging up the phone now. So I hung up and then I like called my mom. I was like, Mom, this happened. And she tried to dispute the charges. I don't even know what happened after that. But I tried to go to police station and they were like, you actually need an appointment. And then I was like,
appointment for the police station.
so if I had just been robbed, I need an appointment to report that I had just been robbed. They were like, yeah, basically.
I guess we're just used to things differently. Like
That's what I'm saying.
maybe they're used to it that way over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So those are some of the biggest challenges I would assume
Yeah.
that you probably ever face.
Yeah, but I promise it was a great study, great place, great study. It's just that with my luck, you know what I mean? That's always what I say. People are like, just do it, everyone does it. With my luck, God is going to make an example out of me. So I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry.
Anything that could go wrong
Will go wrong. Yeah.
But whilst you were in Amsterdam, you were also a chairwoman for the Students for Children.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a bit about what that program is and how you got into it?
Yeah. So it's a NGO, basically. And what it does is that it raises funds to try to make education more accessible for people that would otherwise not be able to get an education. Right. So the way that I got into this NGO was because I got a message on LinkedIn and they were like, hey, we've been looking at your stuff, blah, blah, you'd be great for this position. And so then I applied and I went to the interview and then I got it. And I was like, this is something that I'm very passionate about. Like education, accessibility, human rights, anything of that sort, I'm very super passionate about. So I thought this is like the perfect fit for me because most of the people on that board have been white, privileged, and I feel like if you come from these backgrounds, it's hard for you to understand what these people don't have and what they can help them. You might be thinking, okay, what could help make education more accessible? And the smartest thing you come up with is like, okay, let's buy books for this school, right? But then we keep on getting these projects about people can't go to school because um it's too far from their home and they have to like they don't even have water, so they can't go to school. They don't have bathrooms. So like especially children not having a bathroom at your school, the implications of that is just chaotic. You get very like angsty and you don't know what to do, and then you don't have a bathroom, and then you don't have drinking water, and then you have to commute miles and miles to go there, and not by like bus or car or anything. Like you have to walk there. So like a couple of things that we did was like sponsor some bikes so they could get to school quicker, make like water tanks like so that they could have water when they get there. We built bathrooms. There was also some programs where they helped make the girls like pads because period poverty is such a big thing as well. Like I didn't even notice, why are pads $10? People
And this is
can't
like a
even,
worldwide
this
issue.
is a
Like, yeah.
worldwide issue. People can't even afford to eat, like much less buy pads, you know what I mean? And like at that age, the girls are developing and then they don't have these things to make their lives easier, right? So we did a couple workshops on that as well. Just things like that. Um, yeah, because the state and the condition of some of those places, I would not wish on my worst enemy, right? So we did a couple of projects in Kenya. We did Cameroon. In Kenya and Cameroon were one of our recurring places that we sponsored. We also did Honduras. Did we do India? We did a lot as well. I was trying to do in Belize, right? So I even had like me and some other people from my board go on Channel 5, I think it was, and I was like, guys, please apply, right? Because we wanted to expand the reach. We usually get India, Cameroon, Kenya. I'm not saying nothing's bad with it, but like, there's so much more places that need it as well, and not a single soul applied. And it's like, this is free money towards like educational projects, and then we just didn't take advantage of it. But I feel like now since I'm here, I might start applying on behalf of like schools here, which is something I want to do, is like just go around and see who needs what and how, and then like put in the applications myself. I mean, like, if no one's gonna do it, I'm gonna have to do it, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's a very interesting point that you bring up, that it's something that we take for granted. And if you don't, or if you haven't experienced that kind of lifestyle, then you don't know exactly what it is that you're trying to help towards. So, yeah, it's a very interesting program, and I think that a lot of people could benefit from that worldwide. So, yeah. So now, aside from you having your bachelor's, you're now on your way to your master's degree.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what are you currently studying for?
So currently I'm doing a master's of law, um, in law and legal practice. So it's a university, BPP University Law School. It's based in the UK. And basically, what I'm doing is I'm converting my civil law degree that I got in Europe, into a common law degree, which is what we practice here in Belize as well as in the UK, so that then I could get a practicing degree so that I could practice law.
Do you plan on furthering your education past that?
Yeah. I'm also thinking of doing a doctorate, but I might be a bit too young to do it now. Not in the sense that, oh, you're too young to get a doctorate, but I feel like I need a bit more experience in the field. So after I get my practicing degree, I think I'll just work for a few years and then maybe I'll start a doctorate part time and then see how that progresses. Mostly because well, of course, I have a lot to contribute to the field, I feel like, but also I want to have doctor in front of my name.
Of course.
So, you know what I mean?
So, after graduating in 2024 in Amsterdam, you came back to Belize, where for a period of time you were a licensed high school teacher at SJC, the high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that experience come about?
Like many things in my life, they kind of just fall into my hands. And I just always accept it because I feel like it's just a sign. And then I'm just going to be where I need to be, you know? So actually, I had one more exam to complete my degree, and it was an economics exam. I absolutely very much dislike economics. I don't know why they allowed me to major in economics. But that's like the last letter in PPLE, so I kind of just overlooked economics, right? Like, as you pointed out, I have had before that a degree in history and literature. I think I took one math course at John's, and then they just allowed me to major in economics. And they were like, yeah, you should know this. And I was like, what are you talking about? The first day of class, they're saying you should know this. And I very much did not know it. So I had one more exam left, right? So I was studying for it because it was in August, something. I can't remember. And then they called me and they were like, hi, Destiny. It's like, hi. They were like, are you in Belize? I said, yeah. Do you have a job? No, not as yet. Do you want a job? Okay. They're like, okay, so can you come to the interview tomorrow? I was like, actually, I have an exam tomorrow because that was when my exam was, but I could come the next day. And they were like, okay, please come to the interview. So I went to the interview and then I got the job. And then I started the week after that. As easy as that. It sounds just, I don't know. I haven't had that luck ever since then. I can't find a job anymore. One is going to look for me very soon, manifesting that. Yeah, but I really enjoyed teaching. I didn't know I would enjoy it because I didn't think I had the patience to enjoy it. But it really took out patience from places I never thought existed.
Okay, so then that leads me to my next question because I was gonna ask you what were some of the challenges that you faced while teaching?
Basically, I was warned, right? They were like, "You're young and you're a female." I don't know why that matters in today's day, but it might be a bit difficult. Okay, so I was like, okay. So I tried to find a balance between, okay, we're here to learn, but also I didn't want to make it a boring thing because I was teaching English and literature and public speaking, which was a course they just put into it. So
I
I
was
was,
gonna say because I don't
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. So I was helping like make it up. Um, so I didn't want it to be boring, but I also didn't want for them to think, okay, this is just a fun teacher. We could just do whatever we want. We could just say whatever we want. Um, so it was a bit difficult to find a balance between it. But fortunately, I don't think I ever had like any bad experiences. I had one once. This kid, first farmer, mind you. I don't know, you might have to cut this off. He was like, I'm walking past. I had a nurse student helping me with all these books. And he goes, I spin back. I said, what?
Listen, if it's one thing about first farmers, they have all the audacity in the world.
I said, my student turned around and he watched me and I looked at him and he was like, Miss, did you hear that? I was like, that can't be what I just saw. It cannot be. How old are you? 12?
Like, yeah.
So I turned around and I was like, he had ran back into his classroom. But one thing about me is I'll remember her voice, so I knew exactly who it was, right? So I walked into that classroom and I called him. I was like, "What is wrong with you?" And he goes, sorry, miss. I didn't mean it like that, miss. I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't even talking about you." I was like, "Okay, okay." So then I just took it to the office, to the yeah, and he almost started crying in the office because they called his mom and he was like, "Mom, no, ma, I sorry, never mean it, mama, that, because he was about to get so probably whooping at home. But that was the first and last time something like that happened to me, and it was like towards the end of my career. But most of the boys were respectful, you know. And then something else was like when I started teaching, I was 21, right? Some of my boys are 18 in high
In
school.
hmm.
So if we did the maths, that the 19, 20, 21, I'm 3 years older than you. And you're, well, nothing bad towards it, you know. Everybody have different journeys and everything, but I would expect them to find it harder to respect somebody, which shouldn't be the case. But somebody around your similar age, you would think me and you'd are friend, right? But me and you are not friend, right? So, but I didn't have no trouble with them at all. Like from that one case, after that, he behaved good because I don't know what he found at home, but he found some sense, right? But apart from that, it was so good. I really enjoyed it. When I had to resign, I was really sad. I really thought I was going to be able to teach and do my masters at the same time. But teaching is a 24-hour job. I don't think people realize that. 20, I had 280 students, not even counting my homeroom. So when time for tests come or exam, to check 280 tests and exam simultaneously. And then it's not even like, okay, I'll plan for English and then I'm going to go teach. No, because on one day I have English first farm, literature second farm, public speaking second farm. So it's like I have to plan for English literature and public speaking, and then I have to be prepared by the next day. And then I also have to check all the work. And then I also have to, what time will I sleep? Because you need to clock in at 7:15 a.m. 7:15 a.m. I reached at like 7. On Mondays, my boys knew. Miss Longsworth have to travel from Corozal to City from like 4 in the morning. So they're extremely quiet on those days. God bless, because I don't know, after like midday I kind of just zoned out. So I would just take like a nap at my desk, and then I would just go back to it.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for teachers. I mean, growing up, I knew not to ask teachers when they were finished grade papers because I know all the work that goes behind it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we take it for granted.
of course.
We're just like, okay, they come up and they teach us. Until I was in their position, I knew it was a hard job, but I didn't know it was that hard. So I got the teachers back on any day and every day.
Of course, one thing. This episode of the Captain 501 broadcast is brought to you by the National Institute of Culture and History, NICH. NICH has been serving Belize for over 20 years as Belize's premier cultural institution dedicated to safeguarding and preserving culture and history. Whether it's divisions like the Institute of Archaeology or the Institute of Social and Cultural Research, NICH has created various outlets to maintain an open and collaborative approach to cultural heritage and arts promotion, management, and cultural safeguarding with its various stakeholders. You can learn more about the resources provided by NICH by visiting the Museum of Belize or the Museum of Belizean Art located in Belize City, the various houses of culture located countrywide, as well as visiting nichbelize.org or other websites such as the 501 Academy and Access 501. So you travel a lot, right?
Yeah.
Well, have you always been a frequent traveler?
Well, not really. I think my family would travel as well with me. Mostly to the same places, right? So I didn't start traveling until I went abroad. I think I had just been to like Belize, Mexico, and Guatemala, and like the UK, because that's where my aunt lived at the time. So those are the 4 places I had been before I started my bachelor. And then when I went there, I started to travel more often because it's more accessible in Europe as well. So yeah.
Yeah, because I read somewhere that you've been to over 13 different countries and
Countries.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's one of your favorite things about traveling?
My favorite things is seeing a different perspective, I think. Because when you go somewhere, it's a totally new place, right? Totally new type of people that think differently than you, different food, different culture. And sometimes countries are like super close together. It could take you like 2 hours to get from one to the other. And when you exit one of them to go into another one, it's a totally new world. They're not even speaking the same language. They're dressing differently. They're eating differently. They're talking differently. So that was, I think, my favorite things to see, because I love to see how people interact differently. Because I was doing all those psychology courses, right? So it's like, okay, let me psychoanalyze everybody and see what is going on here, right? Yeah, so I think that was one of my favorite things to do. I didn't really too love the food, because Europe, of course, you go from the Caribbean to Europe and it's like, please use some spices or something. One of my friends, she was like, Destiny, I don't use black pepper, because it burns. I said, what? That is the bare minimum. Please put some salt and pepper. There, that is the bare minimum. What do you mean it burns? She's sweating. She said, Destiny, please, what did you put into this? It's so good, but what did you use? She's sweating. My poor soul. I was like, girl, please.
She couldn't handle a Marie Sharp.
I tell you, she couldn't even handle the black pepper. So yeah.
Are you one of those people who you prefer being in the airport as opposed to flying, or you like flying over the hustle of the airport?
I love the airport. That's like one of my favorite places to be is the airport. I don't know because again with the same thing. There's so much different people there. It's
True,
like, what
true.
are you going to actually? Where are you going to? And it's like you see some people like decked out in coats and thing, and then some people in shirt pants and t-shirt. I was like, where are you going to? Somewhere hot. You're going to somewhere cold. You know, why are you going there? We're at the same place right now. What is leading you there? You know, so I think that's super interesting, and it's also calming to me. The airport, which I don't hear often because it's so like rushed loud. I very much like airport.
So this was our controversial topic for one of the last episodes. What is your thoughts about airport theory?
Airport theory. Can you tell me what airport theory
Okay,
is?
it's becoming a trend online on TikTok right now where people are saying that you don't have to get to the airport 2 hours in advance. You could only be there like 15 minutes or half an hour before the plane starts to board.
No,
No.
that is not. Please don't ever do that. Because sometimes you feel lucky, right? Sometimes you go through TSA in like 2 minutes because there's no one there, and you're like, okay, what do I do for 3 hours? But what happens in those cases where it's super busy, right? You can't get through it. You only have 15 minutes. You miss your flight. Now it's more expensive to you because now you need to buy a whole new flight.
Exactly.
And you
Oh,
wasted a whole new day. So please reach early. One time I was late because I overslept. And it was Amsterdam to like Dallas or something. So if I miss Amsterdam to Dallas, that's an 11-hour trip.
yeah. So you have to wait again for like one next. No, I
No,
can't do that.
I want to sleep at the airport.
I don't even think I could do that here in Belize.
Thank you. I will sleep at the airport.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. Before it opens, I will be there.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's just
because
yeah. I have a game for us to play.
I'm scared. This is what I was the most scared about. Okay,
So, being that we've discussed that you're a traveler, that
okay,
you've been to some different places across the world,
okay,
the game is called Guess the Country.
okay.
Guess the country slash city.
Oh,
So
slash
I
stay.
yeah,
That's the way you had.
I'm going to be giving you some descriptions of places that you've been to based on your Instagram highlights.
Okay, okay, okay.
And we're gonna see how many of them you're able to get. All right, so this first one. This is the smallest country in the European Union.
Luxembourg.
Hmm. This city is nicknamed the City of Water due to its location on the Rhine River and its extensive network of canals.
The city
Hmm.
of water.
Hmm.
Canals.
Hmm.
Amsterdam?
Mm-mm.
No. Bruges.
Mm-mm.
Bruges? Huh, those are the canals. City of water, canals. Canals. City of water. I don't know.
Cologne?
Cologne.
Yeah.
Cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my next one. Cologne, Germany. Yeah, that was my third guess. Third time the charm.
This city has the oldest underground system and was the first of its kind in the world.
Paris?
Mm.
No. It's because I'm on TikTok too much watching those underground things where they scare people. Underground city
This city has the oldest underground system.
system,
Hmm.
and I've been to it.
They call it the tube.
Oh, the Oh, like okay, London, the
Yeah.
UK. I was thinking about like, do you know how in Paris,
Hmm.
in France, there are like underground things people are starting to go in it.
Oh, like the catacombs.
That's what I was thinking
Oh.
about. I system like trains. Okay, yes,
Okay.
perfect.
This city is famous for its medieval architecture and is nicknamed the Venice of the North.
Venice of Norway. Is it Norway? It's not Norway. Is it
You did say it when you were guessing for Cologne.
Bruges?
Yeah.
Bruges.
Hmm.
Oh, Bruges is one of my favorite places to
Hmm.
visit. It's so beautiful. It looks like you step into a fairy tale.
That's in which country?
That's in Belgium,
Mm.
which is crazy because I've also been to Brussels.
Hmm.
Like I would say nada que ver, nothing to do with it. It's totally different. Bruges is amazing.
Mm.
The can't believe I got that wrong. I'm so bad at these facts. She's like a test. Okay. Okay.
This city is divided into 20 districts.
20 districts. This city
Mm-hmm.
into 20 districts. This city.
I'm leaving out a part of it because we just talk about it, and if I say it, then you'll definitely get it.
Paris.
Yeah.
Okay. I was counting, actually, just now I was counting the districts in Paris to see if it's 20. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
according to Google. Yeah.
Okay.
This city has over 1.2 million bikes, despite
Amsterdam.
only. Yep. I figured you'd get that one.
More bikes than people
Mhm.
in the city. Yeah.
Which
I
is
left
crazy.
It's crazy. There isn't, you see more bikes than cars, so there's just bike lanes.
Mm.
And everyone just bikes. Not because they don't have cars, but because they prefer to bike.
Cheaper, I guess.
Faster.
Yeah. Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
Is traffic that bad in Amsterdam?
For the cars, yeah. For the bikes, no. They'll zoom past everything, and it's like a flat country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even like you have to go through hills like you see Kyle. Nothing, just flat.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This country is the birthplace of chocolate, tequila, and popcorn.
Chocolate, tequila, and popcorn. Tequila?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tequila.
This city has over 300 islands within its city limits.
Bergen? No. The city has you. Well, what does it start with?
H.
Helsinki.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Helsinki? As in Finland, Helsinki?
I guess that's I'm going by Google. Let me fact check now that we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Known for its vibrant design scene, numerous saunas, and over 300 islands within its city limits.
Huh. The saunas, I understand. Maybe because I went there during like winter, and everything was just frozen. Yeah.
Probably.
It looked like the North Pole.
This city was founded in the year 1070 and is a major trading hub for Hanseatic. Yeah. And the last one. This country has the world's largest economy.
I want to say, is it the US?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 10.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's 91%.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 8.
Yep.
Period.
keeping that straight A.
I love that for me. I thought I did horrible.
It's just the first one, the cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time you introduce yourself, you always mention that you are the future Prime Minister of Belize. And I've known you for a couple of years, and to this day, that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So what sparked that dream?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I honestly don't remember when it started. I want to say it started around high school. And I think because I was doing so well in student politics, to me, like the most rational thing was, okay, Belizean politics. You see the transition there? It's like, I'm a good president in my opinion. Might be a bit biased. I'm a good president here. I must be able to be a good prime minister in Belize. And I feel like most of my personality, especially when I was abroad, was just Belize, 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 Belize. Everything and anything, the conversation will end up at Belize. Right? And that's actually my roommate in my senior year. I didn't even know she was in my class. The very first day of class. And she was like, the first thing that I remember you saying was, I'm going to be the Prime Minister of Belize. And everyone in that room was saying, like, okay, I want to be an attorney. And that was just like, that caught my attention. Like, that was the most different thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, what do you mean? How does one get this dream, right? But I feel like I don't know. I care about Belize more than I care about myself sometimes, which is why I put myself or I expect so much of me because I feel like I need to not only set an example, but I need to do the best for the country, right? So I was like, this degree, some of my friends are like, okay, this degree, yeah, whatever, bachelor's. I was like, no, this degree is for my country, this degree is for my family, this degree is for everyone but me, essentially. So I feel like as I mentioned prior, we are a very like young country. And I took a class also, much sense from my university. I feel like I made full use of my university tuition. But I took a class on decolonization, right? And again, it wasn't a very diverse class. There was like two brown people or people of color in that class, and I was one of them, right? And so I was like, you guys are talking to me about decolonization, but I don't think you guys really understand like how much it has to do, right? But no offense to everybody in that class, right? Everyone's just there to learn, whatever. But I think that we have a lot to learn, right? And everyone blames like our smaller developing nations for corruption and for crime and all these things. But I think we're forgetting that most of these countries were started with the ultimate like form of corruption ever, right? So you had people come to like unknown land where there was already indigenous people living here. There was mass genocide of the people, right? You tried to like stop all of their beliefs. You burnt down whatever connected them to their cultural or religious beliefs, and then you said this is what you is right, this is what you should believe now, and I think that much of our civilizations here in Central America and Latin America were far more advanced than Europeans, in my humble opinion, right? All that they had was guns and ammunitions. That's it, right? We were far more advanced than everyone there, but the only thing they had over us was weaponry. And so I think that we need to keep in mind how our countries began, and we can't just immediately blame everyone for it. Yeah, people play a part in the things that we do in our country, but also we're all learning. And if we don't know better, what are we going to learn from? Right? So if we started at like not the best point possible, we need to take that and then learn from it and do better. Right? So which is why that's like a main thing for me. Everyone was like, are you going to come back? Are you going to stay outside? You're going to make more money outside. But sometimes I went through an existential crisis when I was in the university. And I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I don't want the fast paced life of Europe. That you work, 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 you slave away, you work, work, work. You barely have time for yourself. There's no like that closeness that we have in the Caribbean almost, which could be problematic to an extent because here we have more gossip and all of those things,
Well,
but
yeah,
which comes with the closeness and everything
that
because
is true.
in Europe, it's like there's so much people, no one even cares about you. Like, you know what I mean? I had this neighbor, he lived downstairs to my apartment, and whenever I'd see him outside, he was older. I would say, "Hi, good afternoon. How are you?" And then one day he stopped me and he was like, "Why do you do this every time you come here?" I was like, "I'm not sure. That's just how I was raised, right? You always say good afternoon to anybody who pass on the street." He's like, "I've been sitting here for years and years and years. I think you're one of the first people who has acknowledged my existence here." And I was like, I don't think I want to be in that cultural environment for too long, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that very much influenced my decision on studying in the UK now to convert my degree because I do want to come back. I feel like everybody goes to study and then they're like, there's more opportunities here, so we're just going to stay here. But then we're never going to be able to reach to a point where there's opportunities in our country if we don't come back,
Exactly.
right? So I think it's going to take a lot from everybody. And oftentimes people think I'm crazy for saying this, but I tell people you just need to decolonize your brain. right? Just a bit, just decolonize your brain. And let's look at the world through a different lens. Why is this happening? What can we do for this not to happen? You know what I mean? So, yeah, basically, I just feel like I have so much ideas, and being that I have traveled to so many places, I do recognize that's a privilege, right? A lot of people haven't really left the country or like even the district that they're living in. So I do recognize the privilege part in me, but also I could see what works in other countries. What works, what doesn't work. What helps, what doesn't help. So I feel like it makes it easier to think, okay, this has been tried here and it didn't work. What's different there than here, and how can we implement this for it to work? So I have lots of ideas that I would want to make happen, but it's also just a journey. It will happen. It will happen. I'm manifesting it. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. And being that we're on the topic of decolonization, now I want to ask, what are your thoughts on the new design for the Belizean currency?
My thoughts on, okay, I've seen a lot of controversy online about this topic, right? Um, my thoughts, I very much don't, I'm open to change most times in like, you know, the more global setting and the more, but to my personal life, I don't really like change. I'm not sure why. I just don't really like change. But they're not that bad. I feel like people are exaggerating. I think it's because it's something new and we're not used to it. So people will immediately see something new and say, okay, this is not what I'm used to, so it must be bad. So I think, again, need to decolonize ourselves and give the opportunity for these things to take place, right? Yes, you might love the queen. I'm not sure why you love the queen. Why is she our savior? They really didn't do much for us. No offense to the queen or to the royal family, but very much offense because you came to this country, you depleted our resources, you killed our people, and then you just left for the betterment of your life. You chopped down all the logwood, the mahogany, you didn't plant it back. Alright? So now what? So what are we left with? Nothing. To fend with it ourselves. And it's these things have so much implications, especially right now with climate change. They don't notice the impacts it's having, right? Okay, it got a bit hotter for them, but we're under sea level.
Yeah.
You know what it means? Like, please be for real. You know, you have the money now since, let's not talk about how you got the money, right? But you have the money now to deal with these climate change or any other like things that come to you, but we don't, right? And why is that? Let's talk about why is that. But anyways, so my honest opinion on these new notes are that I like them honestly. I like the back especially, and I like that it has people that represent us. But I feel like, okay, I do like it, but I feel like we needed to add more people in there. Like,
That
I don't
yeah.
like that it's repetitive, the same two people. I feel like we could have found more people. Like, we didn't start at independence, right? There was, again, civilizations before us. There was like Mayan warriors, like Marcos Canol, or things. So I feel like we could have put a bit of diversity in there. And for the people who love their queen so much, maybe we could have added her in like one of them or something. But like eventually take her off or something because we need to like become independent on our own. Um, and I see that people were saying that it's going to lessen the value.
I don't know how they came to that
That's
conclusion,
not how
but
money
yeah.
works, guys. That's really
That's
not how
not how
money
it works.
works. Um, it's the same value. Yeah, that's just how money and the central bank and the banks of the world work. So yeah, that's my honest review. I think we could have added more people in there. Yeah, basically.
Well, I feel honored that this is a part of your early days of your campaigning journey towards becoming Prime Minister. So at least I could say that one day when you are the Prime Minister of Belize, that this was a part of the journey.
Yeah. And when you're a famous film person and all these things, I'm going to say that's right. Look it up on YouTube. I have receipts to prove it that I knew you.
And you're well on your way to getting there too, because like most ministers and politicians, you are an aspiring attorney and an ambassador too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're definitely on the right track.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time now.
That's what I was saying.
And I do wish you the best in your journey,
Thank you
of
so
course. And you can keep up with the future Prime Minister by following her on her socials, because she also makes videos on social media as well.
That's true.
What got you into that?
Into social media? I think it happened around COVID as well. And I saw everyone doing it. And I thought, okay, let me try it. So that was when we were still in sixth form, right? But I wasn't really posting a lot because I didn't know what to post. So when I went outside to travel, I thought, oh, wow, I'm having such a great time getting to know these places, and I want everyone at home to get to know these places. So I started with like this thing where I was like, oh, it's your favorite Belizean in Amsterdam or something like that. And then I would just show random places and like what life is like there and things like that. So that's what really got me into it. That's when I started being consistent. But now that I'm back, I'm like, I don't know what to post because it's not like I could show you Curacao. Curacao is boring. No offense, Curacao. I love Curacao, but there's nothing to do in Curacao. Please, guys, prove me wrong. Tell me what good there is to do in Curacao. Go to Chitamal. I know that's the only reason why people know it. Oh, I need to pass by Curacao to get to Chitamal, you know. But still lots of love for Curacao, you know.
What's some of your favorite brain rot content right now?
Oh, recently I'm following this lady who's cleaning her hot tub. And she's pouring like all types of things in this hot tub. And it's still coming out dirty.
I think those cleaning videos are some of my favorite favorite brain rot content too.
It's so intriguing, right?
And they're just cleaning.
They're
like...
literally just cleaning.
Yeah.
And then they have some crazy like things they use too. Like, where do you get all of this machinery from?
Like, they just go and buy stuff and see what works.
And it's so random too. Yeah, I love to see people cleaning.
Okay, so I have this segment on the podcast called The Controversial Topics.
I feel like this whole podcast was controversial topics. The whole thing was controversial.
Well, no, we're actually intentionally being controversial.
Okay.
My controversial topic is that fried jacks may just be the greatest breakfast food ever created.
Like just fried jacks?
The whole works. Fried jacks, egg, beans.
Yeah. That's where it's at, honestly. That's not controversial. That's facts.
Well, I'm sure that there'll be somebody out there who will say otherwise.
Okay.
You have one?
I think so.
All right, let's hear it.
Lychee can't be that good.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching.
I've never had lychee before.
I've
never had lychee before, so it can't be that
till
good.
I try it.
Yeah, that like.
It's not meant for everybody.
I feel like you have to schedule in your bathroom session after that.
You do. You have to be. Once you've tried it the first time, you'll know whether or not it's meant for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Destiny, who are some of your inspirations?
Who are some of my inspirations? My aunt, as I mentioned before. Inspirations? I don't know. I feel like whenever I see someone inspirational, I just look for the worst. Like, you're so good, something has to be wrong. So I will find what is wrong. You know what I mean? So it's very hard for me to find inspirational people. I feel like there's people who do inspirational things. Like, the things that they do are inspirational. But I think I've yet to find someone I find really and truly inspirational that I would say, okay, I want to be like you. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah. So, who do you find inspirational?
I think the guests that I've had on this podcast.
Yeah.
You included, of course.
Wow. That is so sweet. I feel like I should have said something more sweet.
No, you were real. You gave the real answer.
Yeah, I like to be real sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what we need. Yeah. That's future Prime Minister, guys.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years. So let me do the maths. I'm 22 now, so in the next 5 years I'll be 27. I want to have finished my degree. I think I'll be practicing law by then. In 5 years is 2030, which happens to be the next general elections. So we'll see if we're prepared by then. Because I also don't want to go into it not prepared.
Right.
I want to be able to give it my entire self. But we'll see. Maybe in 5 years I'm prepared. I know I'm not prepared now, for a fact, because I haven't even finished school yet or anything. But maybe in 5 years I'll be ready.
Okay, and lastly, where can the people find you so that they can keep up with your journey?
You can find me on Instagram as Destaz. That's DESTAZZZ, 3 Z's. Or TikTok also as Destaz. D with a 3 this time. STAZZZ, 3 Z's always.
Of course. Definitely go ahead and check her out, guys, and keep up with the whole journey through her education, through becoming the next prime minister, because it will happen.
It will happen.
We're going to make it happen. Special thank you to Destiny Longsworth for being on this week's episode of the Captain 501 broadcast. Do keep up with her on her journey. And a special thank you to you guys for watching this week's episode as well. If you want more episodes, go ahead and check us out on all our different platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. The video portions are on YouTube. And be sure to keep up with me for any updates on new future podcast episodes. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Woo!